Ladies and gentlemen, there is a peculiar temptation that crouches in every heart, a subtle whisper urging us to weigh our worth against that of another. We look left and right, scanning the lives of others for some measurement of our own. Are they richer, smarter, happier, or more talented? And so begins a fruitless chase, a comparison that twists our vision and blinds us to the beauty of our own journey. Let me begin by asking you, what do you gain from this endless comparison? Does it bring peace, satisfaction, or joy? Or does it more often breed envy, discontent, and despair? The truth is, this habit of comparison is as absurd as a daisy envying a rose for its fragrance, or a sparrow longing to be an eagle. Each was created for its own purpose, and each is glorious in its own way. The world thrives on diversity. Imagine the dull monotony if every bird sang the same tune, or if every flower bore the same color. Yet, in our own lives, we act as though we were meant to be mere replicas of one another, forgetting that we were crafted uniquely, each with gifts, flaws, and roles that no one else can fulfill. This leads us to a vital realization. Comparing yourself to another person is not just unkind to yourself, it is an insult to your maker. For when we resent what we are essentially saying, I know better than the one who made me. He must have made a mistake. How much arrogance, masked as insecurity, lies in such a thought. The habit of comparing ourselves to others is a quiet thief of joy, robbing us of peace and contentment before we even realize it. It seems harmless at first. A glance at a friend's success, a scroll through social media, or an observation of a colleague's talent. Yet beneath this casual scrutiny lies a dangerous trap. For the moment we begin to measure our worth against someone else's, we set ourselves on a path that leads to dissatisfaction. When we compare ourselves to others, we often magnify their strengths while diminishing our own. We see their achievements, possessions, or appearances as flawless and forget that we are only viewing the surface. The curated snapshots of another's life often obscure the struggles, insecurities, and failures they may face. What appears as effortless success may, in reality, be the result of years of unseen labor or personal sacrifice. Still, blinded by this incomplete picture, we assume their life is better than ours, and discontent takes root. This discontentment distorts how we view our own lives. Instead of being grateful for the gifts and opportunities we have, we focus on what we lack. The accomplishments we once celebrated in ourselves feel insignificant when placed alongside someone else's. A sense of inadequacy begins to grow, convincing us that we are not enough. This perspective not only diminishes our confidence, but also fosters bitterness, envy, and resentment, emotions that further separate us from happiness. Moreover, comparison is inherently flawed because it assumes that life is a competition, as though there is a single standard for success, beauty, or happiness. But life is not a race with a single finish line. It is a journey unique to each individual. Just as no two flowers bloom at the same time or in the same way, our paths are meant to differ. Yet, when we measure our progress against someone else's, we disregard the individuality of our journey and place undue pressure on ourselves to meet arbitrary benchmarks. Ironically, comparison often leads us to neglect the very qualities and talents that make us unique. We waste time and energy wishing we were like someone else, instead of nurturing our own potential. This not only stifles personal growth, but also prevents us from embracing the joy of simply being ourselves. The damage extends beyond the individual. Comparison can strain relationships, turning friends into rivals and fostering unnecessary competition. Instead of celebrating others' successes, we view them as threats to our own worth. This mindset creates distance, eroding the bonds that should bring us strength and support. Ultimately, the pursuit of contentment through comparison is futile because it is based on a lie, the lie that our value depends on how we measure up to others. True contentment comes not from comparison but from self-acceptance and gratitude. When we stop looking outward for validation and instead focus on our own growth and worth, we free ourselves from the cycle of discontent and discover a deeper, more lasting peace. Each of us is a masterpiece, created with a unique combination of gifts, experiences, and perspectives. Yet, in a world that often values conformity over individuality, it can be tempting to downplay what makes us different. Embracing our uniqueness is not always easy, but it is essential for living a fulfilling and authentic life. To deny our individuality is to reject the very qualities that make us irreplaceable. The beauty of uniqueness lies in the fact that no two people are exactly alike. Even identical twins who share the same genetic makeup have distinct personalities, preferences, and dreams. This diversity is not accidental, it is purposeful. Each of us has a role to play in the grand tapestry of life, and our individuality is what equips us to fulfill that role. Imagine how incomplete a symphony would sound if every instrument played the same note. Similarly, the richness of humanity comes from the harmony created by our differences. When we embrace our uniqueness, we allow ourselves to explore our strengths and passions without the burden of comparison. Instead of trying to fit into molds designed for others, we can focus on developing the talents and qualities that are uniquely ours. This process not only brings personal satisfaction, but also enables us to contribute to the world in ways that only we can. A person who fully embraces their individuality becomes like a beacon, inspiring others to do the same. Rejecting our uniqueness often stems from a fear of rejection or judgment. We worry that if we reveal our true selves, we may not be accepted. However, the reality is that authenticity is far more compelling than imitation. People are drawn to those who are unapologetically themselves, not because they fit a particular standard, but because they embody confidence and self-respect. When we hide who we are, we rob ourselves and others of the opportunity to experience the fullness of our character. Embracing our uniqueness also involves acknowledging our imperfections. Too often, we equate uniqueness with perfection, but this is a misunderstanding. Our flaws and struggles are as much a part of our individuality as our strengths. They shape our character, teach us resilience, and connect us with others on a deeper level. By accepting ourselves wholly, we cultivate self-compassion and release the pressure to meet unrealistic ideals. Moreover, embracing our uniqueness empowers us to celebrate the individuality of others. When we are secure in who we are, we no longer feel threatened by the differences we see in others. Instead, we can appreciate their strengths and contributions without diminishing our own. This perspective fosters a sense of community and mutual respect, where diversity is seen as an asset rather than a division. To embrace your uniqueness is to honor the person you were created to be. It is to live with courage, authenticity, and purpose, knowing that your presence adds something invaluable to the world. By stepping into your individuality, you not only enrich your own life, but also inspire those around you to do the same. There is a profound truth often overlooked in our quest for self-improvement, or the relentless comparisons we make with others. When we despise or dismiss who we are, we insult the one who made us. Each person is a unique creation, imbued with qualities, talents, and potential for a purpose. To look upon ourselves with disdain, or to wish we were someone else, is to question the wisdom, care, and intentionality of the Creator who designed us. Imagine an artist who spends years crafting a masterpiece, a painting rich with color, texture, and meaning. Each brush stroke is deliberate, every hue chosen with care. Now picture someone standing before that painting, pointing out imagined flaws or wishing it looked like another artwork. Would the artist not feel misunderstood, even insulted? In a similar way, when we criticize ourselves or long to be someone we are not, we fail to recognize the value and intention behind our design. Each individual is endowed with a combination of traits, talents, and experiences that no one else possesses. This uniqueness is not random, it reflects a purposeful design. You are not an accident, nor are you the result of chance. From the way you think and feel to the challenges you face and the joys you experience, every aspect of your being contributes to a greater narrative. To diminish your own worth is to overlook the intricate care with which you were made. Furthermore, to reject who we are is not merely an act of self-harm, it is a denial of the potential impact we were meant to have on the world. Every life carries within it the power to influence others, to create beauty, and to bring about change. When we waste time lamenting what we are not, we neglect the opportunities to develop and share what we are. A world where everyone played the same role or exhibited the same gifts would be devoid of diversity and richness. There is also a deep arrogance hidden within self-rejection. It implies that we know better than our Maker. When we say, "I wish I were different," or "I'm not enough," we are essentially claiming that the Creator made a mistake. But can the pot say to the potter, "Why did you make me like this?" Or can the clay complain about the hands that shaped it? To trust in our design is to trust in the wisdom and goodness of the one who made us. This does not mean we are perfect or without the need for growth. Self-acceptance does not contradict self-improvement. Rather, it is the foundation of it. Recognizing our value as we are allows us to grow with gratitude instead of resentment, aiming to fulfill the purpose for which we were created. Ultimately, honoring our Maker begins with honoring ourselves, not in arrogance, but in humility, acknowledging that we are fearfully and wonderfully made. When we accept ourselves fully, we reflect gratitude to the one who designed us and live out the fullness of the lives we were meant to lead. In a world saturated with curated images and polished narratives, it is easy to be deceived by illusions. We often look at the lives of others, whether through social media, casual observation, or second-hand accounts, and assume they are living with effortless success, unshakable confidence, or unending happiness. But what we see is rarely the full truth. The glossy exterior often hides struggles, doubts, and imperfections. To compare ourselves to such illusions is not only unfair but also harmful, for it distorts our understanding of others and diminishes our appreciation of our own journey. The danger of illusions lies in their ability to create false standards. We look at someone who seems to have achieved a perfect balance of career, relationships, and personal fulfillment, and wonder why we fall short. What we fail to realize is that we are seeing only a fragment of their reality, the carefully chosen highlight, not the whole picture. Behind every success story are untold hours of hard work, moments of failure, and sacrifices made along the way. Yet, when we measure ourselves against these partial truths, we inevitably feel inadequate. Illusions are particularly pervasive in the digital age. Social media platforms, while connecting us in remarkable ways, have also become arenas for performance. People share their brightest moments, the vacations, promotions, and celebrations, while often concealing their struggles. This creates a distorted reality where everyone else seems to be thriving while we alone grapple with challenges. But the truth is, no one's life is as perfect as it may appear online. The smiles in photos may hide pain, and the confident captions may mask insecurity. It is crucial to remind ourselves that the value of a person's life cannot be captured in snapshots or anecdotes. Lives are complex, multifaceted, and deeply personal. The joy someone displays may coexist with sorrow, just as triumph often follows seasons of difficulty. To compare our behind-the-scenes reality to someone else's edited highlight reel is to engage in an unfair and unproductive game. This tendency to believe in illusions also prevents us from truly connecting with others. When we assume that someone's life is perfect, we may feel envy instead of empathy. This creates a barrier, making it harder to see the humanity in others, their struggles, vulnerabilities, and need for support. By dispelling illusions and embracing honesty, we foster deeper relationships based on mutual understanding and trust. The antidote to the lure of illusions is perspective. We must remind ourselves that every person is on a unique journey, filled with both triumphs and trials. Rather than comparing ourselves to a false ideal, we should focus on our own growth and fulfillment. True success is not measured by how we stack up against others, but by how faithfully we pursue our values and purpose. Beware of illusions, for they can cloud your vision and rob you of joy. Instead, seek truth about others and yourself, and find contentment in the reality of your own path. By doing so, you will embrace a deeper, more authentic way of living. In a world obsessed with benchmarks and comparisons, it is easy to lose sight of the most important standard of all, your own potential. Far too often, we measure ourselves against others, gauging our worth by their achievements, talents, or status. Yet this practice is not only misleading but also counterproductive, for it shifts our focus away from what truly matters: our unique capacity for growth, fulfillment, and contribution. To measure yourself against your potential is to embrace a more authentic and empowering approach to personal progress. Each individual possesses a unique combination of talents, opportunities, and experiences. These are not meant to be measured against someone else's journey, but against what you, with your particular gifts, can achieve. No two lives are identical. Even people who share similar circumstances have different strengths, challenges, and aspirations. Comparing yourself to others ignores this individuality and imposes a standard that was never meant for you. Your potential is uniquely yours, and it is the only true benchmark for your growth. Measuring against your potential begins with honest self-reflection. It requires you to ask difficult yet essential questions. Am I using the gifts I've been given to their fullest? Am I pursuing what truly matters to me, or am I chasing goals dictated by societal expectations or the lives of others? Honest answers to these questions provide clarity and direction, helping you focus on what is genuinely meaningful in your life. This inward focus also fosters a sense of purpose and motivation. When you measure yourself against your potential, progress becomes deeply personal. Each step forward is not about outpacing someone else, but about becoming a better version of yourself. This shift in perspective transforms setbacks into learning opportunities and achievements into milestones of personal growth, rather than trophies to impress others. Moreover, measuring against your potential allows for grace and patience. Growth is not a straight path. It is a journey filled with challenges, detours, and moments of doubt. When you compare yourself to others, you may feel rushed or pressured to reach arbitrary milestones. But when you focus on your potential, you understand that growth happens at your own pace, in your own time. This perspective cultivates resilience and self-compassion, enabling you to persevere even when progress feels slow. Focusing on your potential also deepens your sense of fulfillment. Achievements gained through authentic effort are far more satisfying than those pursued for the sake of comparison. When you strive to meet your potential, your successes feel genuinely meaningful because they reflect your true capabilities and passions. This intrinsic satisfaction cannot be matched by external validation or fleeting recognition. Ultimately, measuring against your potential is an act of self-respect and empowerment. It frees you from the burdens of comparison and redirects your energy toward a path that is uniquely yours. By striving to fulfill your potential, you honor the person you were created to be, and in doing so, you not only enrich your own life but also contribute something valuable to the world. In life, we often encounter people whose achievements, talents, or qualities seem extraordinary. It is natural to notice these differences, but how we respond to them can shape our growth and happiness. While comparison can lead to envy and self-doubt, choosing inspiration instead creates an opportunity for growth and motivation. The shift from comparison to inspiration is not just a change in perspective. It is a conscious decision to view others' successes as encouragement rather than as threats. Comparison, by its nature, is rooted in scarcity. It assumes that someone else's success diminishes our own worth, as though life were a competition with limited prizes. This mindset fosters feelings of inadequacy, bitterness, and resentment. Instead of appreciating our own strengths and potential, we become fixated on what we lack, creating a cycle of discontent. Comparison narrows our vision and undermines our ability to recognize the unique value we bring to the world. In contrast, inspiration operates from a mindset of abundance. It acknowledges that there is room for everyone to succeed and grow. When we choose to be inspired by others, we shift our focus from "why not me" to what can I learn from this? Inspiration invites us to see other sources of wisdom, motivation, and encouragement. It transforms feelings of jealousy into admiration and fosters a sense of possibility rather than limitation. Choosing inspiration requires humility and openness. It begins with recognizing that every person's journey is unique and that their success does not invalidate our own. Instead of viewing others as competitors, we can see them as examples of what is possible. For instance, a friend's career success can inspire us to pursue our own professional goals with greater determination. A colleague's creativity might encourage us to explore our own innovative ideas. In this way, others' achievements become catalysts for our own growth. Importantly, inspiration allows us to celebrate others without diminishing ourselves. Admiring someone else's qualities or accomplishments does not mean we are less valuable. On the contrary, celebrating others strengthens relationships and fosters a sense of community. When we support and uplift one another, we create an environment where everyone can thrive. Shifting from comparison to inspiration also requires us to let go of perfectionism. When we idolize others or believe they have everything figured out, we set unrealistic expectations for ourselves. Inspiration is not about copying someone else's path, but about finding elements that resonate with our own journey. It's about recognizing qualities we admire, such as resilience, kindness, or creativity, and incorporating them into our lives in a way that feels authentic. Ultimately, choosing inspiration over comparison is an act of empowerment. It transforms feelings of lack into opportunities for growth and helps us focus on our own potential rather than someone else's. By seeking inspiration, we align ourselves with a mindset of gratitude, curiosity, and possibility. This perspective not only enriches our lives but also allows us to contribute positively to the lives of others, creating a cycle of mutual encouragement and growth.